Berlin, the greatest cultural extravaganza that one could imagine, once said by the late great David Bowie. This city is a lot of things. A cultural touchstone, one of the coolest places in Europe, if not the world, but most importantly, it is a city reborn. Rediscovering itself after the fall of the wall and like a phoenix rising to become one of the jewels in Europe's crown. Berlin as a city is opportunity. It is currently at the centre of one of Europe's most exciting biotech startup booms and doesn't look like slowing down anytime soon. Our journey here was purpose-built. Our aim was to create a community within life sciences to support these companies and to share in their common goal in getting new and exciting technology, drugs and treatments to the market, making a positive impact on global health. Meet our Berlin. So when we first made the move to Berlin, it's back in September 2019. It was Russell, our division director, myself and two other recruiters who were originally from our London office. So when we started, our Berlin office very much felt like London in Berlin. We were all natives of the London office. Russ and I have been with Meet now for 5 and 7 years, so sort of embedded in that culture, but it was really important to create our own culture. What that's helped us to do is bring in people who want to be a part of that culture, people who enjoy the culture that we've created. For two fairly simple English people who've managed to make their way from London to Berlin, I think we've managed to create a really international culture, a culture where everyone can come in and feel welcome.
I think what's incredible about the life sciences industry out here in Germany is how dynamic it is, how it's constantly evolving. There's always new companies that are popping up. I think we see so many really innovative, small startup biotechs, offshoots of university hospitals and things like that, who are always appearing out of nowhere. So it's really interesting to be part of that. And I think the other thing is you can really feed off the passion that the candidates we work with have for the market, and being able to go and approach them with a brand new startup or a new biotech that's just started up is really interesting, because I think it shows we're working with really high quality, innovative businesses.
Berlin as a city is famously a startup culture. There's a lot of startups that will either be formed here or make their way over here at some point in their early days. For us being a part of that, being here gives us access to not only the biggest pharmaceutical market in Europe, but also allows us to be a part of that startup culture. There's companies in Berlin that are startups that we've been and met in person, that we've got to know really well, who we can enjoy working with and partnering with. And it allows us to sort of bring that startup culture into our own company as well, and feel a part of that. One of the first things you notice when walking the streets of Berlin is just how diverse the city is. JFK once said that
all free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Berlin. And therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
And here people are free to be exactly who they want to be. Not only are they free to be their best selves, but openly encouraged to be, with zero judgment. At Meet, we share this ethos. We want people to bring their whole selves to work every single day.
The vibe in the office is very energetic, very positive, very open-minded, and very supportive. That's what I think that we are really good at, is being compassionate, support each other, and most important is to be concerned of each other's feelings, so everyone is really thoughtful.
Since day one, I was really inspired how multicultural it is, and I have to say, I like this, that there is always there is always something to learn from anyone. This is not just necessarily because we are from different cultures, generally because we are very different personalities, very much. Like we were 5 people who started this program 6 months ago, and I have to say, now I see, look at us, and I see we are very different, and they hired all of us, and now we are special in our own way, and also sometimes we need help in some specific areas that we need to improve and so on. So I would say I like this difference, and I have to say people are the one that make this difference and make this beautiful.
I think Meet is also very related to Berlin in this direction. We have so many different people and so different personalities, and I think we all get along so well. However, I think in Berlin, being a city with people coming from different locations, from different backgrounds, we can get several inputs from those people. We can see, okay, how is the situation in other areas as well, and how is the life science industry advancing in other countries, in other parts of the world. So I think, of course, being just one city, but with so many different people, it can bring so much more value considering how international the city is, and brings so much more development to the industry as well. So I think it has a huge impact on it.
So I think what's really interesting is we are a hugely international business. Of the 18 people here, we're across 15 nationalities. Many of those guys moved to Berlin to study. I think we're probably taking a slightly shorter term look at it. Berlin is an amazing place to study. It's so international, so cultural, but then have realised that actually it's the sort of place they can see themselves in the long term, so settled and then started their career there. And I think I see huge parallels with that with Meet as a business. I think what I've really noticed out here is that recruitment is not as well known as it is in London. So people obviously they like the sound of what we can offer. They're really attracted to be part of a startup, but they perhaps don't have as much insight into the recruitment industry as a grad would in London. But I think what's incredible to see is that very early on in their career with me, they feel inspired and they can see the career possibilities that they have within the business. Whether that's within the people in our current office who have developed themselves, for example, myself and Nick who have moved out here, whether it's seeing the likes of, Georgia or Martin or people like that who joined the startup offices in San Francisco and San Diego. I think that they've just seen endless possibilities, and they've been inspired that this is somewhere they can make a long-term career, which I think has been incredible to see.
From being Meet London in Berlin to our vastly multicultural office, Berlin has its finger on the pulse of what's cool, ready to champion the next big thing, just as Meet has its finger on the pulse of life sciences. The life and excitement of Berlin feeds into our office, and like many of the interesting subcultures that have been birthed on the streets of Berlin, so has our office.
Meet is family.
Berlin is biotech.
Berlin is collective.
Berlin is being unique.
Berlin is Meet.